So, I wake up this week, open Twitter, as you do, and apparently AI is writing compilers now. Hey, and welcome to the first episode of hopefully what is a long series of This Week in Tech, where basically I rant about stuff that's been going on in the industry, kind of talk about where I'm at with all of this, considering I'm a student about to graduate in 2 years for the market, so kind of express my thoughts and kind of explain to you guys what's going on. Anyway, like I said, Claude is apparently writing compilers now. Now, for those of you who are not in CS, let me explain why this is terrifying. A compiler is not the same as build me a to-do app, or it's not the same as write out this Python script for me. A compiler is the thing your operating system professor used to emotionally damage you. This is the sacred artifact of real computer scientists, the final boss of you think you can code, buddy? Basically, compilers are used to translate what is the programming syntax to computer language. And it's historically known that this is kind of tough. You ask any CS student and they'll probably tell you that their compilers class during university was one of the hardest they took in their entire degree. And now Claude, Anthropic's model, just casually starts generating, how to parse logic. And, it's kind of terrifying because we were told AI can only do simple CRUD apps. Now AI is doing front end, it's doing junior back end. Compilers were like wizard territory, graybeard Linux user since birth kind of territory. And now all of a sudden that same wizard has competition too. But my take on this all before, you decide to drop out and start farming goats or something, is that there is an important nuance to consider. Claude did not invent some revolutionary compiler architecture, it was prompted and then it followed known designs. Why does this change anything? Because LLMs are good at pattern-heavy and rule-based programming. They're really good at pattern recognition on following, ironically, a script. So when it's copying compiler architecture down, of course it's going to be able to code it. I mean, it makes sense. It does it the same way it does any front end. It does it the same way it does any code at all. And because this isn't some Skynet, it means that there is still a chance for us CS graduates to, make money in the future. And anyway, while we're still processing that bombshell, let's actually talk about the real main character of AI, Nvidia. At this point, Nvidia is not a company, it's more of a geopolitical entity, So what happened this past week, or at least this past month? We noticed tech stops dipping, everyone panics, I'm all of a sudden like, let's go, AI bubbles bursting, overinvestment, where the winter quarter is going down. And then Nvidia posts earnings, the markets for some reason rally up again, and suddenly AI is one of the chosen people now. It's actually kind of insane how my internship prospects are kind of correlated with GPU sales. Imagine explaining this to someone in like 2004. It's crazy. AI bubble might not pop yet. Kind of sucks. I was wishing it kind of did, but it sort of does seem like the software developer role is transitioning more from sitting down and writing code and becoming more of an architect, or at least, knowing about code before you prompt an AI to do something for you. So, but how do you even power all of these AIs? Because, to you and I, we sit on these computers, we prompt it. We don't even think about the billions of water or fresh water that are being absolutely evaporated into dust. But there's also another facet of that we haven't really considered, and it's kind of making the warehouses that house these AI to scream. Let's talk about electricity, because apparently AI's biggest enemy right now is the power grid. Data centers are consuming ridiculous amounts of electricities. The massive servers are farming all of the electricity, thousands of GPUs, power usage rivaling small cities, by the way. Governments are now having policy discussions about AI energy consumption, grid stability, how it impacts the community. And yeah, let me say that again, because I don't think you understood how stupid this sounds. AI growth is not being bottlenecked because people are concerned over, the fresh water being going away. No one cares about fresh water. I mean, come on. Not the concern over, AI might be able to self-replicate. I think it already has. It might be able to self-replicate and, take over humanity. We don't care about all that. No, AI growth is being bottlenecked by electricity. It's crazy to me how we genuinely don't care about any of these humanitarian issues, and the only reason we start policing these AI data centers and stuff is only because the government might lose out on money on powering them. Scrolling through LinkedIn one day, and I saw this position open, and it said data entry specialist. Now, first of all, I read specialist and I was like, okay, this is bullshit. They do this to every job. They're trying to make it sound all cool and fancy. But I want to kind of talk about the part that nobody really romanticizes about AI, which is that behind all this magic, there are actual human beings. Data annotators, content moderators, people labeling, filtering, and cleaning datasets. And a lot of this work is outsourced globally, including Reports of workers in India doing intense moderation work to help train models. We talk about OpenAI, we talk about Google, we talk about Anthropic, like they're wizards floating above society, but behind those scenes, there's actual real human labor. Of course, the high-level people that design everything, like researchers, engineers, those guys are probably going to get paid well, but a lot of these data annotators aren't living with proper wages, simply because OpenAI and these companies would rather outsource this labor where it's cheap rather than pay people the wages they deserve. So yeah, let me quickly recap all that I talked about. AI is writing compilers, Nvidia is basically the backbone of civilization, electric grids are sweating, and thousands of invisible workers are quietly holding the system together, and I don't think all of them are probably getting paid their due diligence, or due amounts, I suppose. And now, the major question, at least for me, was, should I still major in CS? And I guess my 2 cents on it would be that while this is the most chaotic, unstable, unhinged time to enter tech, it is still the most interesting. We're not watching stagnation as it was over the past few years. We're watching the peak exponential growth of a new technology that does not mean that computer science is dying. It just means it's changing. The same way finance didn't die when Excel came out. The question is not, is CS dead? The question is, are you learning how to work with the new tools and how the new industry is going to function? Anyway, that's this week in tech. If AI writes my midterms next W, I guess actually, I don't know. I was about to say I'm transferring majors, but I wouldn't really. I just let it do all the work. Actually, you know what AI should do? It should start going to the gym for me. Then it's truly over. All right, thanks, bye.